Hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the SoCal Prep Report. I'm Rich Estrella, along with Bob Gibson. We're happy you joined us tonight because it's busy, very busy sports season in football. This is the time of year, Bob, if you're playing football, you want to be playing right now.
Well, this is it. I mean, first round of playoffs are done, and now it's for real. I mean, you got your feet wet. If you're in the postseason, you're ready to make your run now.
Absolutely. All right, before we get into the football, let's talk about the top story. All right, let's go social media first, all right? So let's take a look at it, then we're going to talk about the top story of the day.
Everybody hooked up on
social media. There it is. All right there. I'm sure you all know what those icons are and what everything means.
Two of us in here? What is this?
Just check it out
and
get us on Facebook, Instagram. What did Bill Belichick call it? Snapface, InstaChat,
yeah, right.
you know. Just we're on there. Just look for us. You'll find us, all right?
It's all over the place.
Top story this week, Bowl of Mater Dei. He decides, after coming from Kansas to Mater Dei, he's now going to transfer out of Mater Dei to Findlay Prep in Nevada. Bowl, one of the most highly sought-after free agents in high school, Bob, because that's what he is. He's a free agent.
They're all free agents. Right?
Now, Bob, I know you are in that Trinity League's one of your beats, and you got your ear close to the ground. I know you talked to a scribe today. What's going on? Why is Bowl transferring? This is his third school in almost a year and a half.
A little bit of the speculation today was that Bowl never quite bought in fully to what it takes to be part of this Mater Dei program. And what I mean by that is that, to commit yourself to an entire season of being part of the program. There are some out there that we talk about the football factories. Well, of course, we know there's basketball factories as well.
Right.
Where you can kind of come and go as you please. And let's face it, Bowl's got his eye on a much bigger prize than winning a CIF championship or a state championship here. He's probably, anywhere you look, he's a number 2 or number 3 prospect in the nation. Going to go to one of the big schools, Kentucky, Kansas. They're all in on Bowl. He's got his choice of schools, but the point is he kind of wanted, some of the speculation, quote unquote, is that maybe Bowl just kind of wanted to show up for regular season games and the postseason, and kind of didn't necessarily want to be around for a lot of the early stuff and some of the extra stuff you got to do to be part of it. Now that's all speculation. We don't know the true reasoning behind it, but the fact that this kid within a 1 calendar year has now gone to his 3rd high school.
I'll tell you what, Bob.
It tells me that his eye is on a bigger prize, whether it's going to college and eventually the pros. He's got the skill set to do it. 7'2". He's got all the athleticism in the world. He doesn't move like a 7'2" guy. He moves like a 6'8" guy.
If there's any validity to what you're saying right now as far as the reason, the rationale, not wanting to put out, needs to take some days off. He's going to be perfect for the NBA. Everybody's taking days off anyway, so he's already doing it.
Like I said, it's all speculation. There's nobody ever said this was a bad kid. Every indication.
I'm not saying he's a bad kid, but you're not going to buy in and do the work. You got to pull the rope together when you're in a team sport.
Absolutely, and I don't want anyone out there thinking that we're saying he's a bad kid. He's not. All indications are he's a good kid. But let's face it, a lot of pressure on him. Top prospect in the nation. His name is Bowl, so right, his father's Manute Bowl. For those who don't know, Manute Bowl passed away a couple of years ago, but obviously everybody remembers Manute Bowl with the Bullets, the old Washington Bullets, now the Wizards in the NBA, and a couple other teams as well.
Yeah.
And, his old man was 7'7".
Pretty good. Yeah, had a claw for a hand, man. He couldn't even palm a ball. He had his fingers kind of close, but he could still shoot, and he can defend. At 7'7", you better be able to defend.
At 7'2", I guess you're the midget in the family.
Yeah, you're pretty small.
So anyway, but a lot of pressure on Bowl, and we wish him luck over at Findlay Prep in Henderson, Nevada. We hope to see where he's going to go, and he should make his announcement any time now as to where he's going to college next year.
One other thing about basketball, okay, as we all know, UCLA, the 3 students in there got busted for stealing. Now, if you don't learn from the allegedly, okay, it's all alleged, okay, but still, they even admitted they made some dumb choices, Bob.
Wow.
I know a lot of you guys play travel ball and you travel out of the country sometimes, but let this be a big lesson, man. Do not steal out of the United States. Don't do it. I mean, just don't do it at all. But if you're going to do it here at home where you kind of know the laws. Those guys, Bob, you were in a Turkish prison for 6 months for stealing. Come on.
It's a tough gig, but, I think the thing that stands out to me is that those 3 guys kind of stand out
Three
a little bit in
guys.
China, right?
Nice
Three
job,
guys.
nice
right?
job.
They kind of stand out a little bit for obvious reasons in China. You don't think somebody was going to notice these guys doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing? I mean, first of all, they're all about 6'7", 6'8", right? You know, and not a lot of those guys walking around China.
Some of those people thought it was Shaq, man. Come on,
you never know,
you're not
right?
used to seeing those kind of people running
You know,
around.
those are
big
rock
old
stars.
tall.
Hard to just kind of mix in with the background when you're a UCLA basketball player. So,
All right,
let's hope they learn their lesson.
Just want to point it out that it's a bad deal to go anywhere else and start acting up. Just don't do it. Don't act up, period.
Don't take
Let it
what's
ride.
Just don't take what's not yours.
Yeah, exactly,
Basic
man.
lesson.
It's crazy, man. I don't get it. But anyways, let's move on to the business of football now. And,
right.
of course, let's look at Division number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no surprise, top seed Mater Dei moves on. Mater Dei defeated Vista Marietta 49-7. And now they're going to play Poly, who beat their stablemate 60-44 in Jay Serapov.
Well, I think this is a matchup that we thought pretty much was going to happen. I thought Jay Sarah had a shot at Poly. I don't know. I really don't know Poly this year. I don't know if this is one of those legendary Poly teams, or is this just a Poly team kind of along for the ride? But hey, putting up 60 points on a pretty good Jay Sarah team, which didn't play a lot of defense this year, was able to score a lot of points, but defense was not their calling card. But I don't see Mater Dei having any trouble here. I don't see Mater Dei having trouble against anybody in this division.
Bob, this is
head and shoulders above everybody.
This is nowhere near Long Beach Poly's best team.
No, we know that for sure.
Long Beach Poly is allowing only 10 points a game, and they had 5 shutouts this year. But let's not forget they play in the Moore League.
Right.
Do you know they got Milliken, who's got like 5,000 students in it, is playing in the same division as Valley Christian, a school with about 300 people in it. How does that happen?
I think, and I think this will all be revisited. It's a much bigger issue in the picture, but I think once they revisit the Trinity League and they might rename it something else, I think we might see a team like Long Beach Poly out of the Moore League and put into a league.
Got to do something.
More like schools like Mater Dei, Jay Sarah, those kind of schools.
All right.
I think we need to see that kind of a thing happen.
Now let's move on to Mission Viejo Servite. You guys jumped the gun on us. We're going to talk about Mission Viejo and Servite now. Mission Viejo Servite came down to a missed field goal as time ran out on Servite. After Mission Viejo got the lead with 1:32 to go, they get the field goal to go ahead 38-36. Servite has a chance to win it. They did not make that 43-yarder ball.
This makes me worry about Mission Viejo. All the talk about Mission Viejo. Is Mission Viejo living a little bit of a lie? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. That is not a great Servite team. My apologies to Servite. That's a very good Servite team, not a great Servite team. We keep hearing how great this Mission Viejo team is. So for Servite to come within an eyelash of taking out Mission Viejo in that first round, that tells me maybe Mission Viejo just had a little hiccup along the way. Maybe they get things right, but I give Orange Lutheran in fact, I'm picking Orange Lutheran to win that game in the second round.
All right,
I'm doing it right now.
Orange Lou defeated Chaminade last week, 28-25.
And we know Chaminade.
Bob, I told you from day one.
You did.
I didn't understand the hype around Chaminade. Those posters at Max Preps, they need work, brother.
Nationally ranked for most of this football season, and the last play.
Not on no. We threw them out of the top 15.
We did. We did.
Others
Others,
right out of
others
there.
didn't. Others had them in the top 25 nationally. This right here, that's the last place team in the Trinity League, Orange Lutheran. Last place in that Trinity League, Olu, took them out in the first round. No problem.
I feel bad for Orange Lutheran because Bob just picked them over Mission Viejo this week, and we all know that's the kiss of death. Let's move on.
Mater Dei, Olu in the semis.
Come on, Bob.
Love it.
You jinxed San Clemente last week. Bottom bracket now. Take a look at the lower bracket if we will.
Go.
They're not listening. All right, let's move on.
We'll go ahead and take a look.
Bosco over Bishop Amat last week, and Bosco 35-20 over Amat. Amat was just terrible to start the season. They got in the Mission League, and they got healthy. Well, they got healthy because everything in the Mission League was terrible this year, Bob. What's up?
God bless Bishop Amat. They gave it every run here to get within 2 touchdowns of the defending state champion St. John Bosco. Come on, give me a break, right? Bishop Amat should have never been in that game. So what's the true thing? Bishop Amat played out of their mind, or St. John Bosco's not quite St. John Bosco?
Combination. Bosco's looking past Amat. Amat's playing their Super Bowl that week. That's the defending national champion right there.
I hear you loud and clear.
Of course it's their Super Bowl.
I hear you loud and clear.
San Clemente, Rancho Cucamonga, this is the game that Bob said San Clemente would unequivocally win. They got speed. They got a smackdown.
Didn't happen.
28 to what, 10 or something like that?
Cucamonga
Rancho's
got him
tough, man.
28-10.
Nick Acosta, he's a flamethrower over there.
No doubt about it. That's gonna be a
man.
tough out. Somebody's gonna have a tough time taking Rancho Cucamonga out of that.
And let's take a look. This is Rancho Cucamonga. These are the highlights actually from the game when they played against San Clemente, Bob. And I'm going to tell you, man, Cucamonga tried to give this game away. What did they have? 2 interceptions they threw in?
Right.
They tried to give this game away, and they couldn't. There's a Triton touchdown early on to start the ball game. But I cannot understand how you can get 2 turnovers in this playoff game. And look at Rancho. Just going through people like they're not even there.
And that's the point right there. That run game, and that tells you that offensive line is just clearing space.
There's a
Big
cost
time.
of getting one of his picks or throwing a pick.
Look, if you lose the turnover battle, you're not going to win too many football games. That's just the way it is. But if you can survive like Rancho Cucamonga did, you live to breathe another
Survive.
day.
They thrive.
No, and that's what I'm saying, though.
Look at this. This like nobody. He didn't fall. 3 guys hit him and he didn't fall.
That little out pattern was working for them, wasn't it? We see that highlight all day here in this highlight package.
So I could see why you like San Clemente, but when they didn't show up to play Mission Viejo, I knew they were in trouble against this Rancho team. Rancho only had one hiccup this season. It was against league rival Upland, who that's a Super Bowl for these 2 teams
That's
every
true.
year. Upland barely beat them by a touchdown. So I had good feelings about Rancho. I think Rancho's back. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
I agree with you. I think Rancho's going to be a tough out for whoever, like I said.
Well, they're going to be at St. John Bosco this week, my brother.
Well, there you go. You better get ready to play that one because Bosco's going to be a little bit angry.
Let's round out Division 1 real quick. Santa Margarita defeated by Murrieta Valley.
Didn't see that one coming.
I did.
Didn't see that.
Only
one
because you
coming.
did. Thank you, Bob. And of course,
No problem.
Sarah Corona Centennial. Corona Centennial, one of the national powers.
No problem there.
Easily took care of Sarah. A lot of people were saying, well, was it a big enough win? Are you kidding me? A win's a win, man. You move on. You don't got to be scoring 75 against
It's the
everybody. and show
Division
them
One.
everything you
It's
got.
the Division One playoffs. Come on.
I'm telling you. All right, let's go to Division 2 now, Bob, and have a quick look at what's going on in Division 2. Upland to Sorrel. Listen, there was no way. This was probably the biggest margin of victory by anybody this week. Upland 59 to Sorrel 12. And now it's Cathedral over Redlands, and now Cathedral and Upland are going to play. Now, let me tell you something. Before these brackets were all changed last year, Bob, you would never see a game like this.
You're
you would
absolutely
never
right.
see Cathedral play Upland.
And this is a great matchup. The fact that this is going to happen in the second round instead of like the semifinals.
Yep.
I mean, you think this would be like a semifinal matchup. This is going to be one of those games that, you know what, go ahead and flip your coins now and tell me. I'll take Upland just because I like the way Upland took care of their business against Tesoro in round number 1. But, boy, it's going to be crazy. I think either one of those teams could get through there. And on the other side of the bracket there, Edison getting past La Habra. And what do we got? Oaks Christian. Oaks Christian, what is this, a throwback? Oaks Christian getting
listen,
through.
Oaks Christian used to be one of the top teams in the country. When Bill Riddell left, they went to hell in a handbasket, as the old saying is. But I'll tell you, you got Edison, who's already played Oaks Christian this year at Huntington Beach High. That's their home field, and they lost 24-19. This quarterfinal matchup is a rematch of the game earlier this season. When you have 2 good teams playing each other in the same season, the team that won the first time generally loses the second time around. I'm picking Edison in this game.
Right,
Bob.
you love those rematches. And I tell you, an Upland-Edison semifinal matchup?
I like it.
Oh, that'd be fun.
All right, we've got a
See if
bottom
we get
bracket
there.
here. Let's take a look at the bottom bracket real quick. You got Great Oak against Valencia. Valencia is always good. Norco over Los Alamitos. Norco's just tough, Bob.
Yeah, Norco is very tough. I think Valencia, though, is the team to watch for in this side of the bracket over here. I love what Valencia does. And on the other side, you got Calabasas and Heritage taking care of business down there in the first round. But that again, Valencia and Norco, that should be the semifinal matchup, right? But again, here we are in the quarters, Valencia and Norco.
We'll see.
Both teams put up over 50 points
Yep.
in the opening round. So we're going to see some offensive fireworks, I
Moving
guarantee
on,
out there.
Division 3. Let's run through it. Charter Oak, big over Crespi, 55-14 again. You would never see this game happen. And now we know the whole time that they were living a lie that Charter Oak's probably one of the better teams around. So they were going to moving on against Westlake. Now, Westlake was also one of the national powers, back in 2010
Back in the day,
and 11?
right, when it
2010,
was,
11?
Oaks and Westlake up there.
They just get past Palos Verdes. So now it's Palos Verdes, Charter Oak, and I'm telling you right now, I'm picking Charter Oak over these guys. I wouldn't have done it 5 years ago.
I like Hart in this division. I think Hart with a solid win over a good Sierra Canyon team. I just like the way Hart always puts it up in the air, and they can do some big things. So I like what Hart does.
We're going to round it up with Oak Hills and Rancho Verde. Rancho Verde with the big win. All right, let's come back here. We're going to go to the High Desert Report, and we're going to talk to our boy Carlos Peña. Right?
Too cold out there.
This week's SoCal Prep Report. I'm Carlos Peña, and I'm bringing you football from the High Desert. Tonight, playoffs. Division 8, Silverado 56, Citrus Valley 15. Levi Taylor 18 of 30 passing with a total of 348, 6 TDs, 1 interception. Rushing, 5 seniors shared those duties. 23 carries for 205 yards for 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Silverado with plenty of targets, 18 receptions, 348 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Again, Latavian Staples leading the group with 4 receptions, 104 yards, and a touchdown. Hawks look to take on Garden Grove, who beat Sunny Hills to advance. Should be a great game as Silverado loves to scrap it out. Division 9, Burroughs 43, Riverdew 0. Austin Griffin with 14 of 26 completions for 205 yards, 3 TDs. On the ground, Antonio Ramirez carried the ball 15 times for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns for the night. Burroughs looks to meet with St. Anthony. Now, I suspect this to be a back-and-forth match as both schools have defensive units that are equally matched. Division 10, Apple Valley 75, 29 Palm 0. Jeff Widener, 13 of 16 passing attempts with 234 passing yards and 5 TDs. Rushing duties was shared by 3 juniors and 2 seniors for a combined total of 15 carries and 210 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Receiving also was a shared responsibility for the total of 234 yards, 6 resulting in touchdowns. Xander With, a junior, had 3 of them. Sun Devils will take on 7 and 4 Montebello. Moving on to Division 12. Big Bear 33, Banning 19. Big Bear and their precision football won big over Banning. Quarterback Chase Dowdy and running back Paul Holt combined for 320 yards. Big Bear will take on Patriot out of Riverside. Big Bear looks to be on a collision course with a heavy favorite, Santa Ana. Next up, Division 13, Silver Valley 40, Kearney School, Riverside 36. Silver Valley quarterback Anthony Brown was 19 of 26 for 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rushing, Ep269 Ane carried 39 times for 248 yards, 3 touchdowns for himself. Receiving for the Trojans was a team effort for a total of 19 receptions, 244 total yards. They were led by Ep269 Ane with 3 receptions for 75 yards and a touchdown. Silver Valley will take on Nogales, who comes off a 42-0 win over La Puente. That wraps up this week's High Desert Football. Back to Rich and Bob in the studio.
All right, thank you, Carlos. But that's the High Desert Report. Let's continue on with the brackets, Bob. There's a lot to go through. Division 4, Capital Valley won this week. They're going to move on to the next division, to the next round, and they're going to meet Damien. Bob.
Yeah.
Damien.
In this division, I still like Corona Del Mar. The fact that they took out a very good Roosevelt team, 42-35. That tells me all I need to know right there. Corona Del Mar is still the class of this division right here.
All right, we'll see about that. I'm telling you, I like Downey still. Downey's still battling. They beat Etiwanda 47-14.
I'll give you Downey.
They're moving on. And as you mentioned, they're going to play Corona Del Mar, but I think this is where the buck stops for Corona Del Mar.
Really? All right.
That's a big order taking on Downey, I'll tell you right now.
Beating Roosevelt like that? Roosevelt's a good program.
All right.
A good team this year.
All right, my brother. Okay, Glendora moving on to the next round place. They're going to be taking on Marietta Mesa, that is 51-28 over Colony, and then San Juan Hills.
San Juan Hills making their run,
beating Redondo by 1 point, Bob.
That's a school not even 10 years old. They might just be 10 years old down there in South Orange County.
Taking on Cajon. Now let's go to Division 5. Take a look real quick. Now, this was a division of the haves and have-nots, Bob. There were 8 games played. 4 of them were shutouts. Right. Half of the games, the teams got shut out.
And in the 5th one, a team only got 8.
Can you believe it? Your boy Paraclete, as we know.
Right.
42-0 over Ventura. Then you had
Moore Park
42-0 over Los Altos.
Chaparral, right? Chaparral beat Valencia 38-0. And Paramount.
Yeah, 40-0 over Long Beach Wilson.
Took out Long Beach Wilson 40-0.
Those guys are down the street from each other.
There's some defense being played in this division, I'll tell you that.
Division 6 now. Taking a look real quick. Bishop Diego, Santa Barbara beating Norte Vista. And then you had San Marino 62-49 over Summit. That was a good game. You scored 150 points. That's a good game.
That's pretty good.
They'll take each other up. They're going to be going up to Santa Barbara for that one. Then Saugus over Sonora 44-2. Santa Fe, Spring St. Paul 48, West Torrance 14.
Love seeing St. Paul in there.
They are both moving on. We take a look at the lower bracket. Miracosta 13, Crescenta Valley 12. Wow. In this division, you had a couple of games go 1 point, Bob. That's fantastic.
That's great. When you have first-round matchups that are that close, you love it.
This was very balanced division. Fountain Valley, Wildemar, San Gregorio, and San Bernardino, they're all moving on. All right, Bob, what are we?
Division 7.
Oh, no, we're not. Now we're going to go to
Ah.
Randy Rosenbloom. It's time for some city section
love it.
updates,
Check out
baby.
the city.
We're not just about the sun. We're all about the city now. Let's go over to Randy Rosenbloom with this report.
Guys, we start with City Section Girls Volleyball. The championships were held at Roybal. In the open division, Granada Hills gets by Pally 3-2, a dramatic fifth set, 15-13 for the Highlanders. Now they're back-to-back city champions. Last year they beat Pally in 4. This year they get them in 5. Carissa Bradford with 18 kills for Tom Harp's team. That's the 6th girls championship for the Highlanders. In Division 1, Chatsworth over Sylmar 3-0. Not a great surprise here. This is a powerhouse team out of the West Valley League. Chelsea Olmedo was the big story for the Chancellors, 8 kills and 6 aces. In Division 2, Verdugo Hills sweeps San Fernando 3-0. The story here, Verdugo had lost in 5 sets to the Tigers last month. And also, that means 4 city titles for Katie Flores. She's a libero on the team. She's won in volleyball and soccer. What a great thrill for Katie and the Dons and coach Will Reinhart. Let's turn our attention to city football. Some key games from last year. Really, the game of the week was Arleta and Jefferson. Arleta wins the game 35-27. E.J. Gable with 228 yards and 4 touchdowns. This guy's only 5'5", but he gets it done. Romeo Dubes, who's off to Nevada after the season, has 3 scores for Jeff, but it's not enough. How about this story in Division 3? Not only was it University upsetting Bell 35-21, but Uni's bus arrived 3 hours late. It didn't matter, though. They played very well. It was a tight first half, but in the second half, Uni made all the plays and pulled away and eventually wins the game handily 35-21. Congratulations to University overcoming adversity and getting through a good Bell team. You know, this is the first week for the open division. They had the week off last week in prep football in the city section. And the number 1 ranked team is Narbonne, and they'll start off in this 8-team bracket against a San Pedro team from the same Marine League. They already beat them by 50, so you got to think Narbonne should handle them once again. They're just so strong with Jalen Chapman at quarterback, and they're looking for their 4th consecutive city title. Birmingham and Fairfax, this is an interesting affair. These teams scrimmaged one another in August, and the scrimmage was about equal. Now Birmingham out of the West Valley League and Fairfax, the Western League champion, collide in the open division. Venice has the great quarterback Dion Moore, but Carson is a very physical football team. Venice has a real shot here because they can score, but Carson with that physicality and their quarterback J.J. Bellinger would be the favorite. And Banning and Crenshaw the number 2 seed. Banning has done well to get into the Final 8, but the Cougars are just too strong. They have a very solid football team, and I really still believe it'll be Narbonne against Crenshaw when it's all said and done in the championship game. There is a championship game this week in football. It's in the 8-man where Sherman Oaks CES and Animal Robinson collide. They actually played in the opening game of the season. Sherman Oaks CES took the ball, went right down the field and got an early touchdown. It was 6-0, and then Animal Robinson scored the next 36 points and won the game 36-6. Sherman Oaks, by the way, is the defending champion in the 8-man, but Animal Robinson has not had a tough game this year. Unblemished, perfect season for Animal Robinson. On a water polo note, Palisades did beat Granada Hills in water polo 6-5, so Pally is the city champions in water polo. Those are the boys, and they are the best. We'll step out for now. We'll see you next week. Now let's go back to Rich and Bob.
Thank you, Randy. All right, we're going to continue on. We got to pound through some more brackets, Bob. Let's go to division number 7. Siete. For all you bilinguals out there. And Saltails, real quick, over Oxnard Pacifica, 42-21. They'll face a Burbank team who beat your boy Tustin, Bob.
Tustin goes out in round number 1. You got to play defense in the first round. It's playoff time. You got to play some defense.
Yep.
You can't give up 55 points to a really good Burbank team, though. So no shame there.
They figured the only way to beat the Wing T was to outscore them.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
All right, real quick, in the other game, it was Chino 26-0 over Pomona. Yorba Linda 44-21 over Monrovia. They will meet each other this weekend at your Belinda. Let's go to the bottom half of the bracket. St. Margaret's over or Ruben Ayala, which is Ayala High School.
Ayala High School, right?
And yep, they'll be facing. And then Fullerton over North Torrance, 43-30. They move on. Diamond Ranch 2017 over Palmdale. They move on. And then El Medina 38-22 over your boys at El Segundo, making your boy Scott Trumbo very happy.
Yes, indeed.
El Medina alum.
He loves it.
Division 8, let's do it. There you
Kaiser.
see. Yep, Rio Mesa and Kaiser move on. There's also a school named Royal Mesa up there. Valley Christian moving on with a 28-13 win over Notre Dame. Again, Valley Christian, that small school,
right.
a tiny school. Their next opponent will be Antelope Valley. They defeated Rigetti. St. Margaret's, and let's continue on. We got, boy, Bob, we got some doubles here.
I'm talking about the Milliken
Finish it
team.
out.
Look at Milliken.
Milliken. How can a school with a population of 50,000 kids in it play Grace Brethren? I bet you Grace Brethren didn't have 500 students in that school.
And they beat that Northview team out in Covina that's got that great wrestling program.
Yeah, that's
Northview's
right.
one of the top wrestling programs in Southern California.
They're all right. They're all right.
Still pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're good. They're good in and out, man, every year. Anyway, Sunny Hills losing to Garden Grove. They had a good season, though. Remember, for Sunny Hills, getting in the playoffs
it was
is
huge.
ridiculous.
Right.
It's crazy.
So for them to even get to the
All
postseason,
right.
that's big.
We got to go to Minnesota right now and check out this game. Now, we're going to Maple Grove High School. Yeah, this 7-10 with 59 seconds to play, and there's touchdown number 1, all right?
So now you say, they're just kind of getting back into it. All right, a late touchdown. But here comes the onside kick.
Love it.
They got it. All right, they recover the onside kick. But now, hey, you got to score. You got to score quickly because look at the time on the clock.
Yep.
And what do? As we
Oh, forget it, Bob. Let's just
keep
tell
moving
the
here.
bottom line is they win
Watch
the game, and here's
this.
the winning score right there.
Watch this. No, that's not the winner.
That's close enough.
That gets them right
That's
there.
close enough, Bob.
Another onside kick, which looked like a carbon copy of the first one. Here's the game-winning touch. Look at this. Nobody touches
Not a problem.
him. Off left tackle, and it's
Not a
in.
problem.
Unbelievable. Shell shock.
59 seconds, 19 points to win a
Shell
state.
shock.
This is state playoffs. You know, see, some of these states are so tiny. They got to have a state play. They don't have no CIF
Right.
playoffs. They just go straight to state.
This is it.
And that's what they're doing there. And
There
that
you go.
was something we just could not pass up. Who scores 19 points in a playoff game in 59 seconds, Bob?
They do.
Maple Grove.
Maple Grove does. That's who does it.
Give it to them. All right, real quick, let's go to Division 9. Quarterfinals. Moreno Valley is in the quarterfinals. No surprise there. 44-3 over Maranatha. And, of course, we continue on. It's we got Aquinas in there also playing. And, Bob, what I'm trying to look at was the Lawndale score, which we don't have here yet. I wanted to talk about Lawndale real quick because what a season they're having right now. But those are the brackets. Those are the teams moving on. We're running out of time, trying to hustle through this. Go to Division 10 now. Take a look at the brackets real quick. Let's just flip through them, guys. Upper-lower bracket, Division 10. And you can slow it down. And as we go down, Apple Valley moving on, playing Montevallo. Pacifica, Garden Grove playing Valley View. Gar playing Dos Pueblos. Gar beating Santa Fe this week. Those schools are just like 5 miles apart, Bob.
Right, they're really
Probably
close.
The two closest playoff teams of all of them. And continue out. Let's finish it out real quick. I guess we're not.
Division 11?
Arcadia moving on over. They're going to play Catella, Rancho Mirage. Really? Yeah,
Yep.
Rancho Mirage going to play a Royal. I'm surprised to see him in there again. The way they've grouped the CIF parents, Bob, we're seeing all kinds of wild stuff there. Shabbat, we got to get out of here. We're done.
Gudinez, 44-0 over Verbum Day in that first round. That's the team to watch for, Gudinez.
If you say so, Bob.
I'm telling you. Good
they'll be
team.
Modern Day. All right, everybody, we'll see you next week. I'm having Bob Gibson. I'm Richard Stracy. So long from my friends here at the SoCal Prep Report. Have a good week.